Southwest of Tallahassee, in one of Florida's most rural areas, is an expansive wilderness encompassing nearly 633,000 acres. Crisscrossed with forestry service trails and dotted with primitive campsites, this sparsely populated area makes up one of the most remote exploration opportunities for overlanders in a state most commonly known for its highly urbanized and densely populated coastal areas. In this video, we're going to be spending 2 days and 1 night camping, off-roading, and exploring one of Florida's largest expanses of wilderness, the Apalachicola National Forest. All these valves and dials and switches and everything else. It's crazy, man. Could you imagine driving this thing down the tracks in the mid-1800s? This is the view that you have out the front of the train. So today's journey starts us off here in Blountstown, northwestern Florida. This is a part of the state that a lot of people don't even realize exists. It's a lot more rural than the rest of the state is. Once you get away from the coast and into the central and northern parts of Florida, you have a lot more farmland, a lot more rural communities, and the towns just have that really cool old southern town kind of charm to them. You've got the old brick downtown storefronts, the old fire departments, the old brick churches, lots and lots of agriculture and farmland here. It's a really fascinating thing to drive through, and a big change than what I'm used to living where I do in Pensacola. Welcome to the Apalachicola National Forest. Not only is this the only national forest in Florida's Panhandle, but out of the 3 national forests Florida has, this one is the largest, encompassing nearly 633,000 square acres. Looks like we got some water on the trail here. Ah, that's not good. Woo, I got her. Got stuck for a second, but once I flipped it over, I figured it right out. So now we have to go back through it though, so maybe that wasn't the greatest idea. according to Google Maps, there's a like an actual campground is what it's listed as down here. Let's drive down here and check it out. I'm trying to really avoid marked campgrounds because since moving out of Alaska, I haven't really had the opportunity to do like any actual real boondocking like we do up there. It was kind of like a culture shock moving down here and realizing that there isn't really any camping allowed in most places, and that's why the national forests are such a gem, because you can just drive out here and go down trails and boondock and really do whatever you want. So really cool. Seems like most of these actual forestry roads are fairly well maintained. And this one's like nice and packed down. Ew. Supposedly down at the end of this little road where they have it marked as a campground, it's like right on the side of the river. So I'm wondering if there's anywhere that I can maybe throw a line in and try to catch something for us to eat tonight. I would like to catch some shell cracker. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I of course have a backup plan, never go unprepared, but the only thing I'm worried about is with all the rivers and the creeks and everything over their banks and kind of flooded out right now. I don't know what this is going to look like down here, so let's have to see. Yeah, so this is an actual campsite where you have to pay. So it is primitive. So each spot does have like a fire pit and tables and stuff. I'm gonna move on and go find kind of my own dispersed primitive site, but this is only $3 a night, which is actually really good compared to all the state forests here. So here's another little primitive campground. This one's called Porter Lake. And this is another waterfront one that looks like it has a little slip to get your John boat or your kayak in. Dude, holy crap. Look how washed out that is. That is so much water. Wow. I did bring my wife's small sit-inside kayak with me, just in case there was somewhere that I could put the kayak in, and it looks like normally there is. But right now, with how fast moving, how turbulent this is, and how high it is, and it's really muddy from all the rainwater, so you could be running into logs and all kind of stuff in here. I'm probably not gonna risk it. And it's like, it's so far up into the trees that I don't know if it's fishable, you know? It looks like it's just gonna be super snaggy. So I think we're probably, unfortunately, gonna have to go with the backup plan, which is still gonna be fine, but it's not gonna be freshly fried fish. See where this goes. Switch over to sand, which I have used before, and it does okay. I don't know if we're actually high centered or if it's just not getting enough traction. Let's see if we can. Huh. I'm kind of impressed. I'm not gonna lie. That's not bad at all. Fire pit there, ton of firewood. Lots of bark on these, which is great for starting fire with. Lots of kindling here. There's not as much shade as I was hoping for. That's really the only thing about it that I'm disappointed about. But out of everywhere that we've gone today, I think this is probably the best option. No shortage of kindling here. Oh yeah, this stuff is beautiful, nice and dry. That's exactly what we're looking for. Is just take a knife and just whittle off a bunch of this bark here. You can just gather all that bark together into a nice little pile here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my fire plug. Essentially these are just a compressed cotton ball. Very, very flammable. They've got something combustible in there. I don't know what they're using on these. When they're in this form, they're completely waterproof. They're sealed in kind of this wax coating. So all you have to do is bend this guy open here until you start getting some of that cotton fluffed out, and then just start working it in a circle until it fluffs open just like that. And then you can take your lighter or your ferro rod, whatever you prefer to use, light that up, and we're gonna put it right down inside that bark and get all that dry stuff to start lighting up here. Start taking our small twigs, getting them set on top. I have some canned ham. I have never tried canned ham before. My mother gave this to me, and that's what we're gonna try for dinner tonight. I'm gonna get some oil in our cast iron here, a little bit of butter. Let's see what's up with the canned ham, huh? Oh yeah, that looks lovely. Honestly, it looks like Spam more than it does ham. So is this like just one thing here? Ooh. Yes, it is. It's like, dude, that is so weird. Okay, let's just slice it. This is gonna be the worst camping meal I think I've ever made in my life. Let's just pour them taters right in there just like that. That'll work. Actually, that's pretty good. It's actually a lot better than I expected it to be. Now, one last thing I am gonna do to complete this meal is I have some everything French bread. If you guys haven't tried this, you need to. Myself a couple pieces here. Get some butter on there. Just go straight down on there. Final ingredient, a little bit of sriracha. I would say that that's probably far from the best camping meal that I've ever made. But you know what? It's gonna fill my belly for the night. Potatoes actually turned out pretty good. Not bad at all. The feeling of getting away from the city and getting out here and just being in the middle of the woods, just hearing the sounds of nature, exploring, adventuring. This is what it's all about. So to charge my phone, I have, this is actually a Yak power box. These are made specifically for kayak fishing, power fish finders. You plug your fish finder in down here, but they actually have USB ports on them. So I have a little 7 amp hour battery in here. Whenever I go camping, this doubles as how I charge my phone. And plug my phone right into it. So I'll see you guys in the morning.
Good morning, guys. $7:30. Oh man, got a little cold. It got down into the low 50s, so I got cold at one point. Woke up, I threw my sweatshirt on and fell back asleep, and it wasn't too bad after that. Looks like the sun is just breaking over the horizon out there right now. Oh man. Wow, a beautiful morning. Got cold last night though. Everything's soaking wet with condensation. First things first, I need a cup of coffee. These are instant coffee packets. These are probably the easiest way that I found to make coffee while camping. It's far from the best coffee in the world, but it gets the job done. So what's on the menu for breakfast this morning? A cup of coffee and a cigar. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna make breakfast here soon, but it's just so beautiful out here. So quiet, peaceful. I like to just stand and take it all in when I get up in the morning when I'm camping. Honestly, I kind of just want to get moving this morning. I'm not like that hungry, definitely not hungry enough to dirty up that pan and like have to clean up and take all that extra time. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna eat a couple pieces of this leftover ham and call that good. Got everything packed back up. I think it's time to go exploring a little bit, guys. I'm gonna go drive some of these trails, cruise around, see if we can find stuff to take pictures of, and just enjoy everything that the Apalachicola National Forest has to offer. Let's go. You know, one thing I have been curious about, I don't think I've ever turned traction control off in this truck once. And I'm curious if you do, if it'll actually let you have fun or if it'll still override you and try to get traction.
It will. It doesn't override you at all. If you turn that stuff off, it actually lets you slide. Yeah, man. A little side hit action over here. Let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna stop right in the middle and see if we can get back going. Let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, no problem there. You know, one thing I am wondering though is if bogged down in the deep sand on the side of this hill, from a dead stop, if I can make it the rest of the way up the hill and over the hump onto the top. I'm gonna give it a try. It's definitely digging, not wanting to go. Let's try sand. See how much of a difference that actually makes. Okay. Myself out of the hole that I've dug, put it back into drive. There she goes, there she goes. Definitely dug itself into a little pit there. I'm gonna back her down. It's a fairly significant hill. I didn't actually realize it was that tall until I get down here. And I'm gonna see what it wants to do with just a little extra oomph. Oh yeah, easy. Not bad at all. Wonder if we can climb up that, just like through the trees there. Nothing but a little bit of belly drag. Alrighty guys, and that is going to conclude this trip. I'm stoked that you all were able to come along with me. I hope you had as much fun as I did. It was a blast getting to just come out here, drive these forestry roads, do a little bit of dispersed camping. Something that I don't get nearly as much time to do anymore as I wish I did. And this is an awesome place to do it. If you're ever in the area and you're looking for somewhere that you can dispersed camp or boondock, whatever you want to call it, or just come and hit the trails, do some off-roading, bring the ATVs, whatever you want, this is definitely the place for it. This forest is huge and it's just crisscrossed with miles and miles of these forestry roads that you can just freely drive down. There's a little bit of everything for everybody, from your paved roads to your packed gravel to your loose sand to your mud pits, and then the trails that you have to bushwhack your way down just to get back in there. Really fun, really cool area, and there's a lot of like little hidden creeks and ponds and all kind of stuff. So if you're into fishing too, this is like literally the perfect place for it. I am really stoked that we got to drive down the trails that we did though. Finally tested out some of the drive modes on the Maverick. There is a lot more to come with this overland build though. If you guys are interested in seeing that, please go subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss out on future content. Also, if you're interested in seeing everything that I've done to this truck so far, I have 4 or 5 videos over on the channel uploaded from the overland build of all the stuff that we've done so far. So go check that out. But thank you so much for coming along on this one. I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.